Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Hope you guys are doing well this week. I have some fun sneak peeks for you today. I have some new fall products that are coming up, so I can't wait to make these cards with you. My name is Lori from Loritamarie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Plus, I love to come here live so that I can share fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration with you to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. This week feels a little crazy. It is back to school next week. So we're in the midst of like figuring out school details, back to school haircuts, all that kind of fun stuff. Plus, there's a new catalog coming out next week, right? So I am trying to keep my brain wrapped around all the things that are going on. But I don't want you to miss out on the new products that are coming out. So the September to December mini catalog, which is the awesome mini catalog with all the holiday kind of fun things, plus definitely non-holiday things in there as well. It comes out on a Wednesday, and at the same time, there's a whole collection of online exclusives that are going to be coming out as well. So you have a huge variety of things to see what you can fit into your crafting stash or what's going to help you craft through all the fun things that come up this time of year, which is a lot of amazing things that we get to be creative with. The online exclusives are what I'm going to be featuring today. So it is called the Gathering Together Suite Collection. So we're going to be playing a bit with that and making two cute cards with that. What I wanted to say also is if you want to try out the new stuff, you may or may not have heard of product shares before, but I do offer a product share. And what it means is that you get like a sampling of all the DSP, so like one of every pattern. Plus, if you want, you can add on a ribbon kind of addition to that and get a sampling of all the new ribbons and twines that are coming out. And so I can send this out to anyone in Canada. I think I put the link in the description here in the video so you can check it out because we're almost at the end. So you have to sign up by the end of Monday, September 1st. And then I pack it all up. I put labels on and part numbers so that you know exactly what you're getting. And this year, I have a few different levels. If you get what I'm calling the ultimate share, I'm including a free tutorial that I didn't actually put that on the website or on the yeah, on my blog, but if you order the ultimate share, you're going to get a free tutorial with 4 card ideas of new products. But if you don't live in Canada and you can't get the product share, you can also just get the tutorial. And then you kind of instantly have some fun ideas of what you can make with all these new products. And Debbie, happy anniversary, right? Your 50th anniversary. That's exciting. Yeah, can you believe it's the end of August? It always, the summer is going along fine, and then the end of August just hits you, and then it's like all the things at once. Okay, so I want to make sure you know about the product share. You can go to my website. I've got it pinned to the top of my blog there, and you can always ask me for any questions. Also, if you don't have a catalog and you live in Canada, I can mail you out a catalog, or you can find it online starting on September the 3rd. Okay, let's take you down to the table. It's enough chit chat. So let me show you. I'll have a flyer I'm going to be putting in my weekly newsletter that's going to show you all the online exclusives, right? So of course, if you got a catalog, I can't show you the inside yet, but you can flip through it and have fun with that. Then there's a flyer featuring all the new online exclusives, and it's really awesome because then you have a physical way that you can look through all of them, which is sometimes easier than finding things online. So I've just shown you here this suite. So you can see there's a whole suite collection. There's the DSP, there's a bundle, there is an embossing folder, gems, and twine. So I don't have everything. And one thing I want to point out with all suites is that you can always buy everything individually and choose what you want, choose what speaks to you. So there's another fall suite in the catalog called Autumn Toile. So there's some fun fall things to pick in there. There's another bundle in the online exclusives that features pumpkins. So if you want to do something with more pumpkins, that's really cute. And so I've got a mix of a few things. So I've got the DSP, the bundle. I do not have the embossing folder or the gems. I have different gems, but I have the twine. So I always like to do that so you can see. Sometimes I get the whole suite, but sometimes I'll just mix and match for the things that I like. So that is totally fine. So I always love paper. So let's show you the DSP first. I just have a sampling of it here today, but it is obviously beautiful fall colors. And this is a fantastic fall color combo that you're going to, it's a staple and you're going to use it. And I'm going to tell you all the colors, and then it's a great color combo for you to copy, and you can just mix and match the colors with what you love. And this paper, just want to point out, it's specialty, so it also features champagne foil. So it's a little different than straight up gold. It's really pretty. So you've got 3 leaf patterns. So I'm going to show you those first. And you can see, so this one's got a white background and it's got that green worked in there. This one's got a basic beige background with no green in it. And this, but it's got the yellow. This one takes out the yellow and it has a white background. So you've got 3 great leaf options to choose from. This is the foil side. And then you've got 3 kind of pattern ones to choose from. So we've got this fun one here with the foil worked in plaid. Who can resist plaid? Look at that. Amazing. So, and then green stripes. Okay. And then the back, of course, is your complementary sides that are going to help you craft. So some kind of solids, some plaid. This one has little leaves on it. This one's like a wood grain and basic beige. It's going to be a great neutral to work in. And this one has like little dots. Sometimes it's hard to see. So that's the DSP. So we're going to be using bits of that. Here's the fantastic fall color combo. To me, it's a staple. We got Old Olive, Crushed Curry, Cajun Craze, Basic Beige, Early Espresso. And I would say if you want a lighter brown than Early Espresso, Pecan Pie is going to be a fantastic addition. I'm going to actually stamp and use Pecan Pie today instead of Early Espresso, just to lighten it up a bit. And I kind of only use Cajun Craze this time of year, but it becomes like my favorite color of the season. So I want to also show you in the ink pads. And you can add in real red. So if you want to brighten things up a bit, you can add in real red as well. And that's going to look good in this little fall color combo. Okay, now let's show you the bundle. And it's kind of fun. So here's the stamp set. And I loved this stamp set because of the images. They are really fun. So we're going to stamp all of them so that you can see. And then it's got great sentiments, right? So many thanks, thankful for you. Your friendship means the world to me. Expressing heartfelt gratitude and gather. And I think gather is going to be fun for maybe some gift packaging or place settings for Thanksgiving. In Canada, our Thanksgiving is early October, so we kind of have to get right into the spirit of things here. So I'm going to probably be making some of that kind of stuff coming up shortly. And this coordinates with these dies, which are fun. So of course, all your stamped images here, these ones, have their own label shape to cut out. This little guy actually has 2, so that's this shape here. So there's actually 2 of them. And then check this out. You might be wondering what you're looking at there. So I'm actually not going to showcase this today because I got to figure it out myself. But so you can cut out the leaves, just the leaf shape, which we'll do today. But you can also cut it out with the dots, and this is meant to be like stitched. So fun. So this suite comes with a 2-pack of linen thread, and I always get the linen thread. You can't have too much linen thread. So this is Old Olive and Early Espresso, same texture as our linen thread, and obviously you can gonna stitch through those dots. So that is a skill I'm gonna have to learn. So I haven't done that for today, but that's a really cool feature, and I can't wait to see what people do with that. All right, let's get to making our cards. I thought that we would start by stamping because on both of our cards, we're going to be using a lot of the stamped images. So I'm going to grab my awesome color combo, and I'm just going to show you a sampling. And this is kind of what I did to kind of get myself going because I was like, I don't know what leaf I want and what color. So I literally stamped every image in every color. And then once I was making my card, I could kind of see which colors I wanted, and then I just cut out the ones that I wanted. So we're going to start with this big leaf, and I just wanted to show you how everything's stamped. So I'm going to stamp this one in Cajun Craze. And you're going to see that they have a lot of texture to them. They're so pretty. So we're going to stamp that one in Cajun Craze. And what I did is I stamped each one 3 times so that I had a good assortment. And then you can just keep this for as you're making your fall projects. And then you're not like stamping specifically for each one. So I thought that was pretty good. Okay, So I'm just going to show you everything. So the next is this fun leaf here. So this one I'll stamp in Old Olive. Oh, it's pretty dark. That looks good. It'll dry up nice. I'll show you once we make our card. Then next up is this guy. And we'll do him in Crushed Curry. And Crushed Curry is an amazing yellow for fall. So if you normally use Daffodil Delight, definitely take it richer with Crushed Curry. You're going to be real happy with this color for this time of year. Then there's the little sprig. And let's just do this one in yellow too, just to show you. So that's a little tiny guy. And then my two favorite ones, the acorn and the mushroom. So cute. So here's our little acorn. Isn't it adorable? I'm going to set mine in pecan pie. I tried it in early espresso, but that was just not the right color. It was too dark. Can you see all the texture in each image? It's so pretty. I love stamps like this where the artist has done all the work and you just get the glory of stamping it and looking impressive, but you didn't have to do any of the hard designing. And here's our cute little mushroom. Adorable. Okay, so I would definitely stamp multiples and then just cut them out as you need them. And you're going to have a great selection to help you make your cards. I want to know, okay, the mushroom has to be your favorite, right? So cute. Look at that thing. All right, let's take that off. So I've pre-stamped everything and cut it out, so you don't have to watch me cut out all the little individual leaves. But these all have their own dies to help you cut them out. And then I just wanted to stamp these two background ones for you. So there's a little plaid one and then the little dots. You see those there? And so those can just help you with kind of layering if you like to do that for a little background. Okay, so let's make our first card. And I wanted to also create layouts that you could easily recreate yourself. So that's kind of what else we're featuring today. So I'm just going to close these guys up. And if you haven't used your fall colors in a while, don't forget that you can always get ink refills if your ink pads are dry or if it's older. That'll help you out. So I'm going to use Old Olive as my base for today. I'm kind of like the green going on. But just remember all these layouts, if you just change the background of the card, you're going to have a completely different look. So if you got basic beige or white or the orange, any of these cards can be designed with whatever card base that you want. So this one, I'm going to be using 3 different patterns of DSP. And so we're going to use this one first, and it's going to be the base. And this is cut to 4 by 4.5. And just a reminder that every week I send out a weekly newsletter. I also send out other emails too on other things going on. But in my weekly newsletter, I also create a PDF with images of these cards, plus the dimensions and a kind of a QR code to this video and my blog post so that you have a reference so that you can save this and make it later. The next layer we're going to put on is this green stripes, and this one is 3.5 by 3 3/4. And then we're actually going to push this to the side. Now, this is a layout that I got the idea from the mini catalog. So I would show you the picture, but I can't show you the inside of the catalog yet. I should have looked up the page number, but it is a layout. So I too I use my catalog, I flip through to get inspiration and ideas. And if I can see a layout, it wasn't with this suite of products at all, completely different products, but you can always just tweak things, right, to the way you want them. But it gives you like a good starting point for card making. So this one is 3.5 by 3 1/4. I was just making sure I had it the right way. And this one, I'm going to So the green one, I pushed a little bit to the right. This one, I'm pushing a little to the left. And then you end up with this kind of fun little layered look. And so we're just going to keep on building our layers. So the next thing I did is I wanted a circle to kind of be a base for all those fun leaves. And so this is the DSP. So this is kind of a basic beige with the little dots on it. It's got that on the background. And I'm just going to put this on with dimensionals. And I find cards instantly look fancy, right? When they've got that foil in there, it does all the hard work for you. So nice. So we got that. And then I'm going to show you the leaves that I chose. So again, if you've got everything stamped and ready to go, you can just kind of play around and figure out what kind of assortment you like. But I've got the largest leaf in Cajun Craze, the next one in Old Olive. I've got this one in Crushed Curry, and then our cute little acorn in Pecan Pie. And so for these three, I am going to just put some seal on the back. So we'll just put this on. And I'm going to have a sentiment that comes across here. So I'm just going to layer these up. And I'm just going to put them on kind of lightly in case I need to tweak anything. So hopefully they're movable. And we're going to leave that for a second. And we're going to grab our sentiment. And I did these ahead of time too, just to save on some time today. But all of these are great. And I found that it's easier, like I didn't use any dies or label pieces to cut them out. I just cut straight up on like strips of pecan pie. So these are 1-inch pieces of pecan pie. And then I wanted to heat emboss. So I love heat embossing. So if you haven't seen heat embossing, I do it on some of my videos. I don't recreate it every time, but you can catch some of my other ones where I've heat embossed. I think last week I did some. And so I did the many thanks. And I'm going to cut it to about, it ends up being about 2.5 inches, but you can just cut it to size. It's a 1-inch strip, like wide, and then whatever your sentiment is, you can cut it to the shape that you want. And then we're going to put some twine on before we put this down. So we've got the early espresso. And I usually cut about a 10-inch to 12-inch piece to get started with. And then I thought it'd be fun just to try to loop it, create little loops. So I'm actually just going to put seal right down onto my card because this is going to be hidden with this. And then I'm just going to put my twine into it. And it's a little curly already. And then you can just, maybe you want to create some loops. And there's no right or wrong way, just kind of mess around. And then it'll look kind of cute layering up behind everything there. And then just so that this sticks to everything, I am going to use glue dots a little bit stronger on the one end. And then I'm going to put a dimension on the other end just to make sure that it's level. So we'll put that guy on, and then all that's left is our acorn. And I'm going to use glue dots for him too. So the fun part of this card is the stamping. So it really adds kind of all the fun texture. Plus you've got that gold or champagne foil, sorry, in there. And then we'll add our little acorn. So cute. And then the gems. So the gems in this suite are Cajun Craze in gold. And I did not get them. I got a different one. So I got these ones, which are brown. These are called Streaked Dots. And these ones are in the suite that's in the catalog called Autumn Toile. So I'm going to use these ones today, but I feel like the Cajun Craze ones are now on my list. So I thought I could get away with maybe just getting one set of fall gems, but you know how it is. And it's like, no, now I think I need the other ones. All right, let's just fold up our card nicely here. And there is our first fall card. Cute. All right, so let's get to our second one. And we do have a fun thing to try with this one. So this card, we are going to play with the big leaves. So like I said, you can try out the stitching. I will definitely play around with that and let you know how that goes. So I want one of each. So I've cut out this big, like I think these are oak leaves. And so I cut this one right out of the DSP. So whatever you want to do. So I like this kind of Cajun craze side. So we've got that. And then I'm going to show you something I'm going to do with this guy, with the maple leaf. And first we're going to cut it out. So I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to cut this out in Old Olive. So go ahead and cut this out. And then we're going to add texture to it by using an embossing folder. So this suite comes with an embossing folder that you could try out. I'm just going to double check the name for you if you're watching this later. Gathering Leaves. So I did not get that one yet. You know, you can't get everything at once. So I went through my stash and I have two that I thought would look great. So the first one is the birch one. So that one will look really good. And then there's the plaid. So I decided to use the plaid. I'm just looking for, I had the other one cut out. I can show it to you with the birch and then you can see which one you like better. So you want to cut it out first and then put it in your embossing folder. If you do the embossing first and then you cut it out, if you I'm thinking and trying to talk at the same time, right? If you do the embossing folder first and then cut it out, it'll flatten your embossing. So I like to cut it out first and then emboss last. So I just need platform 1, the folder, platform or plate 4 on top. And then we'll just run that through. And then move this out of the way. And then we've got this cutie little plaid leaf. So fun. And here is the birch one. So I don't know which one you like better. You can kind of decide or get the new one, Gathering Leaves. And then you've got, I think it's got like little rows of tiny little leaves. So that would look good too. Actually, I think it looks like this. I think it's this kind of pattern with the little tiny leaves all in rows. Okay, so we've got our leaves. So I'm going to use Old Olive again just to keep like a little set here. And this time I just wanted a solid background. So I've got this plaid one as a full background. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. If you like to add other layers in, you could put this on, say Cajun Craze cardstock, add another layer and mat it. You can always keep adding layers. And now we're going to put these on. So let's add these with some seal. There we go. Go nuts. And again, we're making like a little arrangement. So we're going to put our leaf, kind of a maple leaf at an angle like this. And then our oak leaf, I think, kind of like so. So you got your leaves as your background, and then we're going to cut out a circle again. I think I forgot to mention with the first one, I just used the stitch shapes dies, which have like nesting circles. So I think it's the third smallest or the second smallest. It's a 2-inch circle. So again, this is going to create the base, but this time I'm going to tuck my leaves a little bit behind just to show you something different. And so this time I've got the large leaf in pecan pie and this smaller one in Cajun craze. Nope, crushed curry. I was thinking the right color in my head, but I did not say the right color out loud. Okay. And then I just put seal on the back of the circle. And we'll just kind of tuck those out so that they stick out like so. So we'll put dimensionals on the back of this as well. And then they kind of all become one thing. And then don't forget, the whole thing is sticky. So you can snip up all the edge of your sheet and use up all your dimensionals. We'll peel these off. Okay. And just gonna go kind of like so. There's no right or wrong placement really. If you like it higher, if you like it lower, to the side, not to the side. Then we're going to get our sentiment. So this time I did the same thing, a heat embossed on pecan pie. And it says your friendship means the world to me. So this is nice. So it doesn't really have to be for any occasion. And I'll just cut it to size. And like so. And what I'm going to do first, I wanted to use the other color twine. So I've got the old olive. And again, like 10 to 12 inches. And I'm just going to tie a bow this time. So I don't always tie a bow, but sometimes I like to tie a bow to give the structure of it, but then I tuck it behind. If I can get the loops to go where I want them to go. Okay, and I will put the knot of the bow in a glue dot. Get up. And then I kind of want it to be hidden like this behind the sentiment. Get a little closer. Like so. And I'm just going to use seal to lay that over top of our circle. And then the last piece is our cute mushroom. I had to work the mushroom in. Oh, blurry. There we go. Oh, it's so cute. Okay. This year I had weird random mushrooms in my yard because it was so wet in July. I don't usually grow mushrooms, but although now it's hot. Now we're getting our summer at the end of the summer here in Calgary, so they've all dried up now. I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of this and then maybe a glue dot on the other side just to help. There we go. Just to help layer this all up. I kind of want to tuck it over everything. And then we just need our little gems. And there's two sizes, but I'm just using the smaller size. Oh, hi, Sonia from Montreal. Thanks for joining today. That's fun. My daughter went to Montreal this year. I've never been out east, so if you can believe it. All right. And there is our second card. So again, this is a layout that you could recreate. Just picturing leaves. Actually, this one was in the annual catalog. Let me see if I can find it. Use your catalogs. Use paper. Get right to it. Find layouts that you like. This one on page 128. See how there's a collection of leaves with something round. Essentially, that's the layout idea or the sketch idea. And then you just tweak it to the products that you have. So I have my leaves, something round. So that is that card. So you've got two layout ideas. You've seen how pretty the paper is, how all the stamps work. You got a great fall color combo. We are ready. We're ready to launch into fall, right? Maybe. Ask me again on Tuesday morning when we're going back to school. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. This was a fun sneak peek. If you didn't see last week's, it was full-on Christmas, Traditions of Christmas suite, which you're not going to want to miss. There's lots of good ideas in that one as well. Remember, you can get a catalog. Everything launches on September 3rd, which is a Wednesday. And if you want sampling of things and live in Canada, I'd love for you to grab the product share. And remember, I'd love to gift you the tutorial with some card ideas as a thank you. So thank you guys so much for being so kind. I love hanging out with you guys here. If you're watching the replay, I really appreciate as well. You can like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back next week with more fun projects featuring all new products. Yes, thanks. Take care, guys. Until then, bye bye.